he stops the heavy. It's like putting baby in the corner.
Don't do that.
And dated references for 100, Alex.
Mm-hmm.
Even that will be a dated reference soon, as he's no longer... Isn't he transitioning?
Alex who, right?
Right.
Who watches TV anymore, right? What's that? What's that all about?
Oh, gosh. All right, man, I'm going to push the button here.
Okay.
That'll come up to haunt us later. I'm going to want that volume. All these weird little idiosyncrasies to this digital ones and zeros world.
Gotta have everything mesh up, you know.
Oh, brother.
It's a finicky game.
In my days, you plugged something in and you could...
Yeah.
And that was sort of satisfactory. Nowadays, I don't know. All right, I'm going to push it again.
There we go.
Volume and everything. Get this to you wherever you are comfortable.
How's
There's
that?
no right or wrong.
So
to
where's the which is the best place to be looking here? Anywhere
right
around?
now it's here.
Right there.
This
Red
is
light.
the one lit up, but it's going to be
All right.
whatever you feel like.
All right.
Truly, we're gonna get all this situated. We're live. I'll get that echo away.
5.
Yeah, live at 1 today.
Yes, sir.
I want to get a good focus on your chest hair for sure.
Absolutely. I can increase it if you'd like, you know, to your desired proportions, right?
Well, is it my desired proportions or are they yours?
I don't know. You're the host here. I'm just your guest.
Well, I didn't request the chest hair. I thought that was just a Halloween bonus. But the thing is,
comes
this
with
isn't
it.
Halloween. This is you, right?
Yes, sir. I would actually consider this my business casual, if we're going to get specific. This is my business casual. I do dress like this every day. I have been for the past 5 years, and I have no intention of ceasing. So, you know, I'm sure we'll get into that in a bit.
Oh, it's great. All right. Well, with that, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back at home. It's going to be a fun one today. I already feel that the energy between us is great. You're like, keep it going, keep it going. Is that what that was?
Can you even believe I haven't had a sip of coffee today? So we are on the right path, my man.
All right. Well, welcome back. Tonight is Thursday, October 29th, 2020. This is our Halloween episode, although neither one of us are really, this is sort of how we look all the time.
I guess some people could consider us spooky in a sense, right? Or at least myself. You know.
Maybe. Our guest this evening is Los Angeles' funkiest analog photographer. We're going to find out how on earth he got that title as well. But we are sitting here with Taylor Hendricks. What's up, man?
Thank you much for having me, Jay. A pleasure to be here in sunny California. We are slightly less on fire, right? So it's a nicer day.
We're much less on fire, I think, right?
Yep.
Hopefully.
Just another beautiful day, living the dream.
Well, how you doing, man?
Good,
I mean, before we even get into who you are and everything, how are you? And you look leisurely. I want to find out if you are leisurely.
Well, a lot of people have said I have a rather relaxed demeanor most of the time, and I say that's true. But, you know, being a California native, it's hard not to. I lived most of my life away from here and decided there was a resurgence in me that was really calling me to come back. So had to come back in full force, you know. Have to be around the right people. Have to find your group, you know. So,
well, where are you from that you weren't fitting in with those folks?
Sure. So let's just start with it, man, you know.
Sure.
So, long story short, or long story longer, depending on how you want to think about it. I was born down in Torrance, you know, Torrance Redondo area.
Oh, so you're from LA.
Little beach boy, you know, nothing too fancy. Just this kid moved out of there when I was 6 years old, and not on my own volition whatsoever. Grew up on the countryside of Pennsylvania and New York.
I see. Okay.
So I lived for a little bit up in upstate New York, and most of the time in Pennsylvania.
Where I would like to know more about both of those places.
Sure.
I know that area pretty well.
Cool. So I'm actually, most of my life was spent in Reading, Pennsylvania. That's about an hour 45 north of Philly. Mm-hmm. Destitute little coal mining town, nothing much going on. A tiny bit of car presence, but nowhere near the level of California. So always having that in my mind was a driving factor to come back, you know. So that was part of it. And the attitude of people, you know, you think East Coast versus West Coast, there's a lot of animosity in a lot of people's mindsets. It's not...
We were certainly programmed to believe that.
Exactly. So obviously not as drastic as you may think, but the difference is there, you know. And so I found it very easy to mesh with people in LA and just fall into the right groups, you know, and just kind of have a good time with everybody and not be hassled as much, you know.
Well, so how long has it been that you've been back then?
About 3 years.
Oh, so you are kind of a new transplant.
A
Then.
little bit, It's like I consider
Well, you
myself.
fit right in. Sorry to step on you there, but I
oh.
mean, forgive me. I just assumed this sort of
Oh, no worries. It's like
came together over time.
You know what? This actually, I don't know what happened. Actually, I do know what happened, and we can talk about that too. So in Pennsylvania, everyone's a lot more conservative in a lot of different ways, not just in a political context, more in a socio context, right?
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, the things to see there are like the Red Caboose Motel and the Strasburg Railroad and stuff like that.
That's right. So I was in the movie theater by myself. Rush, Ron Howard had just come out, 2013. I was watching that. I bought a ticket, watched it, didn't even blink, bought another ticket, went back and watched it again.
Holy smokes.
And I was just totally enthralled with the whole atmosphere that they were able to curate. And I was like, how did he do this well? And I was looking at the character costumes and how it kind of transitioned from the early 70s through the mid 70s. And it was just like, that was it. I was like, that is cool. It's one of those things where something just clicks and it's like, that is who I am and I'm going to start becoming it. So it was at that point where I was like, let's do something different. It was kind of on the cusp. People weren't really doing the vintage thing too much back in 2013. Analog cameras weren't really that as popular still. Right. They were kind of still on a downward trend. Vintage clothing, there wasn't as much of a presence on Instagram or anything like that.
No.
You weren't seeing too much of that. It's all very much so in the forefront of your mind now.
I'm thinking about it. It was very specific things. There was a Dapper Day at Disneyland. There was, Comic-Con for cosplay. There were very little pockets here and there, but you're right. In the front of people's mind, like that wasn't a thing.
Yeah, and so I think really now...
Hipsters, I guess, have always been around, but that's sort of a different thing, right?
Yeah, hipsters. So originally the hipsters were their own kind of group, and then the terminology got a little bit misconstrued to become skinny jeans and plaid.
Oh, yeah,
and
always, right.
Loosened
up the rules. Anybody can get in.
Right, a little bit. So that was kind of its own deal, but I'm a little bit post that. I'm post hippie. I consider myself operating in 1976, 1977 time frame.
I'm looking at All in the Family. Would that be fair? Is that the right time frame?
Something
I'm looking
like
at
that.
Like Mike from All in the Family.
Good
Not
Times
that you look
too.
anything like, Good Times is a good one. Yeah, JJ.
Yeah. Stuff like that, Just kind of a blend. There's no specific limitation, but I try and narrow my own personal sense of style to those particular years.
Is that because of you? And I mean, you said your personality already, but like do you know where that comes from, or have you poked around?
I'm not really sure.
You seem young to have. This would make perfect sense for me. I was born in 1977.
There you go.
Even though that wasn't my generation, I grew up when people were wearing that. I was a little kid, but people were. Yes. Yeah. Firsthand.
It was imparted on you from a first person perspective, and so being 77, that is part of you.
But you're younger, right?
Yeah.
Am I wrong about that assumption?
No, I don't know, man. You never know these days, right? No, I was born 92, actually.
Yeah, so
I'm
a
a
lot
baby.
younger.
Yeah.
So this really is a statement for you.
A little bit, and it's more of just a reflection of the mindset. It's like how I operate. It's like when I'm driving in my car, I can't listen to modern music most of the time, even though I drive a modern car. I find it to be its own thing. If you want to operate in this context, you have to be fully immersed in every facet of it. It's truly a lifestyle choice, honestly.
Brother, I get it. It's a frequency choice, isn't it?
Absolutely.
It's like we're going to do it doesn't just look like this. This is also the pace.
This is it. Yeah.
This is the pace and operating frequency of what we're doing here.
And, it was just so much fun to start. It was just way too much fun, and one thing led to another, and now I got a closet full of shirts like this, and I walk around, and But isn't that what California's all about? It's like,
Well, there's definitely the who cares element, right?
Yeah.
I mean, people came here because they didn't fit in other places.
Exactly.
That was what I always understood.
Exactly.
And it sort of bred the whole, the hippie surf culture and everything that gave us Malibu.
Yep.
And Venice Beach.
Yep. And it was funny because when I first kind of re-landed here, it was September 21st. I was going to go to the Japanese Classic Car Show.
Okay.
Down in Long Beach. And I landed at my buddy's house in Hermosa, a tiny room the size of a closet,
Sure.
the like janky bootleg old Hermosa. It was like the last hippie house. It's like...
Was these the Hermosa houses that are basically the walls are cardboard?
This one was built in 1923.
Oh, it's an old house.
It was a really old house, and it was just decrepit in every sense. There was like holes in the walls and like rats running around. It's like, is this Hermosa Beach? Like the neighbor's house is $5 million and I'm over here, you know?
Yeah.
So it was a very interesting experience to try. And it was like, oh man, Hermosa, old Hermosa. What was happening back then? You know, you had the all night coffee shop that was going on. The name slips me right now,
I don't know either.
but there was like a lot of hippie cultural stuff happening in Hermosa. Allen Ginsberg read poetry in Hermosa. There's a museum over there that highlights some of the local lore from the 60s and stuff. And it's like when my buddy's family moved there in the 20s, you know, there was nothing there. There was like an oil pump on the beach, you know,
Wow.
and stuff like that. So it was the experience I was looking for, you know. It was like that was the California I kind of pictured.
I think of was it? It might be Blow, but isn't that was it Hermosa when they first come out to the coast? And
Manhattan.
like,
Manhattan,
it's
but close
Beach.
enough.
Okay,
It's-
yeah. Same
it's-
little pocket of Southland.
Oh, Hermosa's only 2 miles, so it's the same deal.
Yeah.
Back then, it was really much more the same deal.
But I mean, again, they're in these clothes,
Yeah. That,
selling
gotta-
pot on the beach, right?
yeah,
In the movie.
yeah. So that's what he was, and that is one of my all-time favorite movies too. Rush, Blow, a
Well,
couple of
I
those
did
are,
my
are-
research.
They are right up.
There we go. George. Oh, tell me, George.
Yeah.
Now you make me want to watch that movie again. I haven't seen it forever.
Your brothers. You know.
Oh God, that's a really good don't trust anybody movie.
Oh. Learn a
When
lot
money's
of-
at play, you can't trust anyone, even your best friend or brother.
Oh yeah, a lot of life lessons in that one.
Is that Penelope Cruz? Is that where?
Yeah.
It's not where we got her, but she was the girl, right?
She was the girl. She was the it girl of the movie. So, I think that's a
See
rightful
that. I gotta
place.
see that again.
Yeah.
Is it as good as I remember? I remember it being really good. I know it's Johnny Depp. I mean, he was pretty good back then.
Yeah.
pretty solid.
He was doing a good job, I'd say. And one of my favorite scenes from that movie is the airport scene where he talks about when you're smuggling drugs across the border, you want to think about a pleasant experience, a birthday, a sexual encounter, something like that. Anything that take your mind off of the fact that if you get busted, you're going to do 10 to 15 years in federal prison. You know,
Yeah,
something like that.
basically keeping your mindset right, right?
Yeah. So
Oh, gosh.
it was him wearing this like white leather suit and bell bottoms and these like massive oversized sunglasses. And I'm like, look at this character. Like dude, like this is awesome, man. So it's like
Oh, that's a riot.
I'm gonna
Well-
steal that, you know.
Brother, I love what you're doing because
Thank you, man.
see, we are stuck in the 90s over here in this weird way. So
Oh, that's all right. You know,
we
that's
had
part
this
of it.
nice mid-century place going, like everything was very modern. And then when the Letterman stuff arrived, this contemporary 90s stuff arrived.
So this is from his.
Oh
Letterman
yeah, I'm
stuff.
sorry,
Tell
you don't
me
even
more.
know that stuff.
I'm
I don't
still-
want to talk about it on the show
still
because our
catching up.
audience is sick of hearing about it.
Okay,
But
no
yes,
worries.
this is actually Letterman's old stuff. You're sitting in the old chairs from the Letterman show. This is the actual desk
Wow,
and microphone.
I feel even more special now.
It's fun, right?
Yeah, I need to catch up on those podcasts. You know?
I want you to know, like, I also can't explain what the hell. I'm tuned into a frequency. The frequency is this time. I feel like it's going to be important again. I don't know why. You know, this is
Yeah.
Field of Dreams in here. I have a purpose. It's
Yeah.
Close Encounters also.
Yep. Oh, I
It's
like
a
that
little
one.
bit of everything because this was sort of like this all came to be in a very weird, whimsical, mysterious, universal, magnetic manner.
But that's how the best things in life happen, you know? I gotta say, I'm just gonna say, that's how the best things happen. And you know what? I'll touch this desk, I'll knock on the wood, you know, absorb a little bit of its vibe, you know? So, no, you're totally on the right path, man. And I think the 90s resurgence is definitely already in full swing. I think it's going to get bigger in the next, give it 5 more years.
Yeah, I think
You
so
know,
too. We're seeing it in
separate
the
the
car
time.
culture right now, right?
Absolutely. Let's delve into that. So, Radwood being a thing, even, is pretty impressive in its own right because, 20 some years ago was like the kind of right in the heyday of that. So,
Well, we were thrown. I mean,
Not even
I can't
off,
speak-
I mean, like
you
20
were being
20
born.
years ago,
we
it
were
was like
we were
2000.
driving those cars and like dreaming about other cars.
yeah, that's right.
Nobody was happy with their Integra when they had it. They wanted something else, you know.
Well, you'll have to tell me more because I don't know, man.
Oh my gosh!
No, I do have 190s car. I have a 1993 Celica GT Coupe.
Well, that's an awesome car.
Yeah. So
That was actually rear-wheel drive, right?
no, that one was actually the second generation of front wheel
Oh,
drive.
the front. Okay.
But it was the same kind of platform as the all-wheel drive rally car. So I
Wait,
had,
is it the one with
yeah.
the bug eyes? It's not
No, it's the
bug
one with the
eyes.
pop-ups.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
I
the
love
round.
that one.
It's the roundy one with the pop-ups. The 4th gen is a square with pop-ups.
No, I like I like them
roundy
all,
one
honestly.
with pop-ups. Yeah.
But I remember the roundy one, and it almost has like a slit front.
Yes.
I don't know how to do like that black little slit that
Yes,
goes all the way
it
even
has
onto
like
the
a
headlight
it
covers.
has like this little, I don't even know what you call
Like
it,
a shadow
trim piece.
line or something.
It's like a trim piece that has a vent underneath of it. So
Oh, is it-
kind of
so it's
fits
a-
right in there. Yeah, that is an air
It's
intake.
practical.
Yeah, it has a very small air opening in the front, and then the other one on top there.
That's a cool looking car.
So-
how long have you had it?
Yeah. So funny thing about that is like,
Wait, is it on your Instagram? I pulled your Instagram up.
Yeah, it's on there.
All right.
It's the red one with the 4 500 FF rally lights.
Well, let's see here. You tell me. Let me see here.
Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. We're right there.
Oh, there we go. All right. Sure, I can show everybody else. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun in that car.
And you do have the rally bar and everything. That is
Yep.
awesome.
Had it lifted like 3 or 4 inches. I can't quite remember. Stripped out, just straight pipe, just rowdy, you know.
Gosh, that's cool.
It was,
That
a,
is
it
awesome.
was a fun car. I drove that thing everywhere. There was guys in WRXs going off-roading, and they were like poking around. I'm just like, I'm going. I'm just blasting through. Whatever, you know.
Well, it's not that you don't care, but there's something about, I don't know, there's something to, it's not a Porsche 911 or something where if you do go off or have an incident, your whole life's ruined.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you know. That was literally a $400 eBay sight
There you
unseen
go.
car, you know.
Impulse buy?
Yeah, totally. So I was, you know, before the mindset and personality shift, I was, you know, just a regular modern kid going to college, whatever. Had a 2000 Celica. I was trying to put a turbo on, you know, doing the boy racer hot shot stuff.
So you were still you were still stooping stuff up.
Yeah, so I was doing that, and I needed a second car while I was working on the other one. So I was like, all right, here's one for $400 in a like swamp. So throw my bid in.
Wait, was it really in a swamp?
It was halfway sunken down.
Okay.
It was
so
sunken
hence
down
the
in this
$400.
little meadow. It was filled up with water practically, and it had a lot of mold and algae on the interior panels. So they were like, oh, the headlights work. You can have those. So I was like, it's a parts car. What is it? Well, we got the titles. I'm like, all right, give me the whole car, you know, $400. So they pulled it out of the swamp and roped it around the front tie bar, bent the tie bar. Both tires are pointing the wrong way. I drove that sucker home like that, smoking both
No
tires.
way.
The smell was terrible. This
bet.
like this just nasty swamp water boiling off this car that hadn't run in years.
How far did you have to go?
It was about 20, 25 miles, I think.
Oh my God!
And it did not look like
If you
that.
said 2.5 miles, I would have been like, that's crazy.
No.
All right.
You know.
Good for you. All
Yeah,
right. So we see a little bit
it was
into
it was
into
fun.
your psyche a little bit also with these stories.
It was a fun time, you know. It was a fun car. So, you know.
All right. Well, I want to talk about cars. I want to talk about photography. I want to talk about
Absolutely.
your movie camera there. We're
Absolutely.
in no hurry. I don't know how much you've seen of this show before. We have some other things. It's Thursday, so we do a TBT. We also
All
have
right.
a segment we do called East Coast Feed. It's one
Okay.
of my best friends from childhood, from home. We used to work together in the car industry
Cool.
when I was 18 years old. And he does a thing. He just got married the other day, so we've got a video from his
congratulations.
honeymoon. It's only it's less than a minute, I think. But these are just the other things we have to do.
Sure.
I'm in no hurry to do any of them. I wanted
right.
you to know that they were things that we had to get to at some point. Other than that, we have 40 minutes to continue doing what we're doing.
Well, that sounds good. I'm happy to participate, you know.
That's the rundown. That's where we are right this
All
second.
right. All right.
Felt like I needed to check in.
Oh, no, that's good. You got to do your thing. You got to maintain the progress of the show, right?
I don't know how to do any of this. I know how to do this. I was a production guy. I was
Okay.
never talent. Never good talent, if you couldn't tell.
I think you got the voice for it, though.
I did go to broadcasting school
Nice.
because I wanted to do this one day, that kind of thing.
Did you ever delve into the transatlantic accent?
No, but I've heard all about it. There's two, and I always confuse them. There's one that is to have a nondescript. You sound like every broadcaster without sounding like you're having a dialect from a certain region. But maybe I should have just said non-regional. It's non-regional. Is it that one, or is it the hello Mabel?
That one. That one.
We call it in comedy. They call it old timey. Like, oh, you do the old timey voice.
Old timey. All
Yeah.
right. Yeah. So I was reading about that a little bit ago. I don't know, a couple months. Time's really slipping by,
Yeah, big time.
especially these days. But so I was reading about that, and then I watched a video of a guy doing practicing using the Beastie Boys as a reference. And he's like, I can't stand it. What's going on here? And it's like, well, it's just crappy British. That's all it really is, It's not like its own thing. It's just crappy British.
Yeah, kinda.
Yeah.
Well, that's basically what it was, right? We're doing old timey. Old timey was when we were fresh off the boat here, right?
That's right. But then
We were throwing away the Brits.
Yeah, delve deeper though, it was actually because they were able to hear every frequency. I guess the tonality had to be in such a way that the technology at the time could only pick up those frequencies.
No.
So they taught people to speak in that way so that they could be heard over radio.
You're kidding.
So that is the answer, I'm pretty sure.
So they were. That's amazing.
Yeah. Isn't that weird? It's like
I mean, it
people
definitely
going
makes
to
me want
school.
to investigate further. That's crazy.
Yeah, transatlantic accent.
Well, I don't contest that exists.
No, I'm just telling you what to look up when. Don't forget.
That's so wild. I mean, it makes perfect sense. There are. I mean, these days anything can pick up anything. But when I was coming through, you needed to have all these lights and everything because the cameras really couldn't. You needed to have things insanely bright and whatever just to simply capture the image that we all saw on the
Correct.
Cosby Show or whatever it was. Bad choice of reference. Cheers.
It
Cheers
works.
is better.
Yeah, there we go. Yep. Yep. Or even this one here when I forget which movie it was, but Stanley Kubrick's one in like the 1700s England. I can't remember which it was right now. I haven't even had any stimulants yet, right? So he was filming, but he insisted on using natural light, and so it was like extremely difficult for him, even with a f1.2 lens, a very very fast lens. He couldn't let even that much light in to make it happen as kind of as he wanted. So yeah.
So maybe that's probably exactly what I was talking about.
Yeah,
So for film cameras, obviously that's always been a thing, and then for video cameras, for a long time in the 80s and 90s, they were even worse. They were really not.
Yeah,
you couldn't get any light through the lens.
Specs were just kind of terrible,
Yeah.
So I think we're at a pretty good point in technology right now where the affordability to kind of feature ratio is very, very high, and the level of standard across the playing field of all the manufacturers and everything like that is just keeps going up.
Tell me what you know. I'm amazed at what you can do with an iPhone. My dad
Absolutely.
was a professional photographer. He
Oh, cool.
taught me. I have his eye, but I don't know anything about. Like, I'm not a good photographer.
Well, if
I
you-
can take
yeah.
decent pictures, but I'm not a good photographer.
If you got the eye, that's all that matters, really, in my opinion. Because if you don't have the eye, you can't capture it as you see it. So you just need to be able to see it. And if you can see it, you can capture it.
I greatly appreciate that because what you're telling me is he's got everything he needs.
Yeah, yeah, man.
Thank you for that. But tell me what you know as far as, I mean,
Sure.
where are we with this stuff? You still shoot with the old stuff.
Sure, so
It
I'll
looks
go
like
ahead
a device that matches your outfit, right?
Yeah, so this is actually 1981.
Oh, okay.
A little bit post,
A little bit
but
after.
still relevant. I do have
You
a
would
1977.
clothes lasted more than 1 year in those days.
Yeah, yeah. So I actually do have a 77 camera as well. But this one here is my baby. This is the Minolta XL84
So cool.
Super 8 film camera. This was the top of the line back in the day. It shoots 24 frames per second, which is a little bit rare for Super 8 cameras. It's only the higher end ones. But this isn't an expensive device by any means. This was a couple $100.
But it's all battery. It's not manual. You're not
Yeah.
cranking that thing. It's all.
Yeah, so it has a motor inside.
There we
and
go.
The batteries are right in the grip right here if I had them, which
Awesome.
they're out.
But is
So-
it literally just AA batteries?
Yeah, so you take
That's
6
amazing.
AA's right in the handle there. Pop
That's
that back
amazing.
closed, and then you...
How long does 6 AA's last on that? I mean, are you shooting? Well, I guess you're going to run it
Yeah.
at tape before batteries.
A pretty
probably.
good time. A pretty good amount of time, I'd say. I'd say you could probably get maybe 5 rolls or so out of it.
That is much better than
Yeah.
I expected.
A couple days. It'd go a couple day shoots, I'd say.
Wow.
It has this convenient gas gauge on the back to tell
Yeah,
you
that's
how
what
much
made me
you
ask the
got.
question. Yeah, that's
and then you
funny.
got a battery check. Yeah, you can hold it if you want.
It's
Take a
very
look.
cool. You'll have to swab everything
Yeah.
down afterwards.
Nah.
You say, it's pretty amazing, and it's actually a little. Well, there's no batteries in it. I was gonna say it's a
Yes.
little bit lighter than I would expect.
Yes,
but 6
yes.
AA's, that's another
Yeah,
pound.
they do
so-
add another about pound right there. And then also the film cartridge is a couple of grams. I don't know, maybe like 100 or so grams.
Is this what you shot the Magnus Tell me the
Correct.
What would you? I don't want to say the wrong name. Was it Baby Shark? I want to say Baby Shark, but it's not.
Shark
Baby
Attack.
Shark Attack.
Shark Attack. Baby
Shark
Shark.
Attack. Dun, 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 Shark Attack.
Yeah, he actually came up with that title, so I was like, you know what, man, that works. Let's just run with it.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, we have that queued up too.
you can
So
look
let me
through it,
know
too.
when you want to watch that, if you want to watch that.
Yeah, you can look through it too if you want. Take
Oh,
the
that's all
tape
right.
off
I
for
think
it.
it's amazing.
Yeah. I should have put batteries in this just to hear the motor going grrrr, grrrr. Yeah.
Hindsight, man.
Yeah, it's all good. So yeah, I used this one.
For your next appearance, you should
that.
shoot some stuff. I wonder what all like the digital lighting and all of that stuff looks like on an old
Sure.
medium.
So a little bit of that was seen in the Shark Attack film. So we saw like some of the tungsten, some of the LEDs like up around Grand Avenue up there.
Yes.
You see some of the downtown city lights, and that was shot on Kodak 500 tungsten film
Okay.
with a little internal filter here, so filters out the tungsten light.
Oh my gosh, built in?
Yeah, little built-in filter.
Oh, it's a digital. It's some sort of.
No, it literally slides a orange piece of plastic
No
in
way.
front of the lens inside here.
So it's mechanical.
Yeah, so it's a mechanical filter.
Man, I wish there were some batteries. I'm just kidding. I'm totally joking with you.
Oh man, it's all good.
Do you want to play that video?
Absolutely,
Do
whenever
you mind?
you're
I
ready.
mean, it's. I think it was only like 5 minutes, but it's very entertaining.
5 minutes and I think like 7 seconds. Yeah, sure.
Fantastic. All right, we're gonna roll it now. It's called not Baby Shark. It's
Not
called
Baby
Shark
Shark.
Attack.
Shark
Magnus
Attack.
Walker and the 928.
The 928, the 1978 928 Series 1.
There we go. Roll it, Hal.
Tonight I'm starting my LA nighttime tour at the iconic LAX theme building, constructed in 1961 to represent the future of airline travel. In 1978, believe it or not, the execs at Porsche decided that the future of the company was not with the 911, but its planned replacement, the 928. To me, the car was way ahead of itself. When I look at Porsches today, I see the styling of the 928, the center console, which was way ahead of its time, and the iconic Visac package, rear axle steering. Porsche gets all excited talking about this rear steering today on the 992, but in reality, it debuted 42 years ago on the Series 1 928. With approximately 240 horsepower and around 268 foot-pound of torque, the 4.5-litre V8 motor had more than enough power to make the 3,200-pound 78 928 a really, really usable GT touring car. The type of car that you can put 500-600 miles easily on it in a day, get out feeling non-buzzed, not beat up, not aching, and have covered ground in a really, really efficient, fun-filled, and fast-paced manner. I took the car down to the guys at Precision Motorsports down in Orange County and let them take care of upgrading all the suspension, meaning everything from bushings to sway bars to the KW Club Sport full-loaded package, which really made a difference to the car. I'm also running my car on slightly wider 15x7 and 8-inch bone dials. Of course, I had to powder coat those guys gold, and I'm rolling on some soft and sticky Pirelli Trofeo hard rubber. All this makes a really controllable, functional, well-balanced, super nimble, super agile, and great handling package. The 5-speed manual gearbox with the dogleg pattern, meaning first is over to the left, is a real joy to shift through. The gear ratio is spaced really nice, and the torquey aspect of the motor makes slicing and dicing in modern freeway traffic a real breeze. So all of this combined with the must-have Porsche black and white checkerboard Pasha interior makes this truly an iconic visual car to look at, as well as a fun car to drive. one of my favorite features of the 928 are the iconic pop-up headlights. I'm not sure if I'm getting old, maybe I am, but I do find myself going to the 928 probably a little more frequently than I'm going to the 911. This was evident on the 4th of July when Hannah's parents were returning back to Colorado, and we drove them, that's 4 people, all over 6 feet tall, along with their luggage, to LAX. So, super practical, lots of room, super comfortable. That is 928. For me, I'll put it simply. The best of the bunch of the front-engine water-cooled transaxle Porsches, without a shadow of a doubt, is an early Series 1 928. I've asked this particular question a couple of times to Porsche executives. Hey, when are you guys thinking of doing a 2-door Panamera? In true Porsche fashion, they just sort of give me a little smile and don't answer the question. But obviously, only time will tell. Thanks for riding shotgun with me tonight on my nighttime LA tour in my 1978 928. Like I always say, when you get a chance, get out and drive, pedal to the metal. Cheers and rock on, and thanks for watching.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Thank you much.
Fun, too.
Soundtrack on the end right there. Yeah, thank you much, man. I really appreciate it.
Well, I mean, we appreciate it.
Yeah.
I would say that was very entertaining. I was taken by a couple of things. One, the saturation, the different colors that you get. And I'm assuming that's not post. That's what that captures, right?
On the film part itself, yes, there was some color correction done.
Okay.
It's inevitable, especially even on the film here. It's like it was almost pitch black, so I had to come up with creative
I'm sure you have to play
for,
with it, but I mean,
yeah.
did you come up with that color scheme?
Yeah, so
you did?
I used the kind of a basis of kind of like some cyberpunk reference, but I came up with it the way I wanted to. I didn't just throw a filter on there.
Right.
So I played with it. And it's a whole process called color grading, which I had actually had to learn about. So it's like, you know what? I don't know. I was just playing before. It's like, all right, well, you have to approach it in a more serious aspect when it comes to motion pictures,
Sure.
So how the lights play off of different things, how they play off the shapes, how they play off the building. So
Surfaces,
have to adjust the tone of everything in the scene for every scene. So it was kind of an involved process. A lot of different things got delayed on this just for all the reasons involved,
Yeah.
But it was worth it, And yeah, the coloring was pretty much, I used a reference and then just kind of tweaked it and came up with my own little thing that suited how I wanted it to look,
It's awesome.
Thank you.
It's awesome. It looks fun. One thing I didn't notice on my first pass when I saw that video, obviously way before meeting you,
Sure.
I didn't notice it until today. The framing, the way the soft rounded edges, is that how that camera is framed, or did you do that in post also? Because I loved it. I thought
on
it
the
was
whole
cool.
thing, or just on the Super 8 part?
Oh, you know what? Gosh, that's a very good point.
Because-
Maybe I didn't notice.
Okay,
I
'cause
noticed
there-
it specifically in the beginning.
Oh, in the beginning, yes, that was a template, actually. It was just like a little overlay that it's a 35
Like a
millimeter. Yeah, it's a 35 millimeter matte overlay. And so I used that because for a couple of reasons. One was the artistic aspect of it to make it look a little bit more. But the functional aspect was actually the lens I used had a lot of vignette on there, or vignette, however you say it. So it
Depends on where you're from.
It didn't look very well. So
you were just hiding the vignetting or vignetting?
Yeah.
No shit.
I was just hiding that. A lot of
Well
different
played,
scenes.
sir.
Yeah. So that's why you saw the top and the bottom ones. I used another kind of template. It was right at LAX where he's turning left around the corner. So you see him in the car, and you also see the car external, right? So the top and bottoms are that same style overlay to give you the same angle at the same time, just a different perspective.
For me, it really sold that. Well, because I'm an idiot. It sold like, oh, this was done on an old camera. You know what I mean? It was.
Yeah.
Remember when film look was a thing when it first came out? The first time
terrible.
we'd seen it. Yeah, but it was the first time we'd seen it, so we were like, oh, look at that! It's all grainy.
Yeah. Wow, great.
Forget that the grain repeats every second.
Yep. Hey, wait, there's that grain again, right? I remember that one. Right? But no, I had to get that one. That was just a little tropic color or whatever thing added on, but it made it look right. And I was like, you know what? This is going to add just another element to it. Everything about it, like some people have knocked the audio, but other people have said, well, it sounds like it was recorded in the 70s. It's like, the audio, yeah, it messed up a little bit on me, but
the only thing I would have said was it sounded like Magnus was, recording it else. He wasn't in a studio or anything like that.
No, we were actually just in his shop right there, so a lot of echoes. It's a garage,
Yeah, but I mean, it didn't take me out of the.
All right.
It didn't take me out of the storytelling.
Cool, good to know. Thank you much. But yeah, it was a
Not
fun
that you
time.
asked for my critique well after this is out.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't. I don't know why anybody. I don't know.
It's all good.
People will find something.
Yeah. So, case in point, there wasn't much to say, Wasn't much negative about it, so I was happy,
Nice.
It was definitely a challenge, though. It took us 6 hours to do it at night and boiled it down into 5 minutes,
Oh my gosh,
So
always.
it was quite the process. We really lucked out at the LAX portion, though. They let us in to the parking lot for the theme building right there. They saw us
what
coming.
used to be Encounter Restaurant.
Yeah, the Encounter Bar. We were going to mention that, but that part got cut. So they just
Well,
let
it's
us
out of
in.
business anyway, right? It's sort of. I mean, he's right. It was an
know.
exhibition building originally.
Yeah, so it was an exhibition and then a rotating restaurant, depending on who you asked, right?
I've been up there. It used to rotate,
okay.
but it was it was almost always out of service
Gotcha.
from my experience.
That's a shame. I think the world needs more rotating restaurants. They all seem to be not working right now, right?
I don't know.
happened
I
to
don't
that?
remember the restaurant itself rotating. I remember there was like an element, like there was a ring within the restaurant that some stuff was on that would rotate. It wasn't like the ones at the top of a hotel in most cities.
Yeah.
Even downtown LA has one.
Yeah. I worked right across from, was it the Sheraton, right?
It is, but Nick of Time was the movie. What is it? The Bonaventure Hotel.
Bonaventure Hotel.
Bonaventure Sheraton.
Yes, we actually, that was in the movie too. If you saw the overpass and going up, that is the Bonaventure right there.
I love the architecture downtown.
Oh yeah, there's a
LA.
lot.
When I first moved here, I didn't care for it because I was from New York, and I was like, "There's nothing here." But once you spend enough time and dig through and realize that, okay, well, it's not hundreds of years; it's probably like a span of 50 years. But either way, there's some really cool stuff,
Absolutely,
including that Bonaventure Hotel.
Yeah, so it's like you think about like the 1850s era, 1850s, 1880s, 90s, like that. Like that was when LA was flourishing,
Being built. They got the water here finally.
Yeah. So
all right, let me do a couple things really quick just to pay some bills for one thing.
do it, man. Do it up.
I would like to mention when you got here, you were wearing a mask until you got in here and asked if it was okay to take it off.
Yes, sir.
We have lovely masks sponsored by Hunziker over here. If you are in a part of the country where you should be wearing a mask, or a part of the world rather, where you should be wearing a mask, and you fog up your glasses, and you see somebody who isn't wearing a mask, you could say to them, "Hey, need a mask? Shop Hunziker.com." That's what we did. They have all sorts of different automobile art, fine art, and this is some Porsche-related stuff. This is obviously the houndstooth Pepita pattern.
Very nice.
Pretty cool. And my number one is my favorite, but a lot of his automotive art is on the mask. It's good stuff. And everything else. There's a 50% off Halloween sale going off right now on Hunziker, shophunziker.com. So check it out, shophunziker.com, and I believe the BOO, B-O-O, I believe, is the code to get you 50%.
That's apropos, right?
Yeah, definitely. Also, do you drive a car?
Yes, sir. Well,
is that car insured? Oh, wow, this is a good point. Is your 90s car collector's insurance or just regular
no,
car
not
insurance?
yet, but it has now ellipsed the 25-year mark, so it is now antique.
You qualify for Haggerty, my friend.
My dad uses that. Right?
Yeah, you get some really good deals on collector car insurance from Haggerty. Way generally better than going through your regular, like, I don't want to say better than these other brands, but then you would insure your Ford Taurus.
Let's say Haggerty goes the extra step. I do know a little bit about that. They insure my dad's 68 C3. He pays like $53 or something.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know. He got like some crazy deal on it, but Haggerty goes the extra step to take care of their guys. And when I'm ready to start driving my older cars, I'm probably going to go with them.
I love that. There you go. Well, they say all that separates men and boys is the coverage for their toys.
There you go.
St. Clair Insurance, a Haggerty company, has coverage for your toys. What toys? Anything. We've been trying to stump something that they won't. We've been trying to find something that they won't insure. But jet skis, lawnmowers, those kegerator, you sit on a bar stool and you drive it. They've got races. Those things, you could insure it.
Really?
Yep. Your home, your business.
You might have to tell that to the guy making scooters down on San Pedro and 6th.
Well, no, they can't force you to insure. But if you choose to be responsible and insure your toys, St. Clair Insurance has coverage for those toys. Check them out at coverageforyourtoys.com. Jeff St. Clair, we love you, buddy. Thanks so much. All right, so those are done. Let me do really quick. We'll save the TBT till a little bit later, but let me do the East Coast feed. These guys, do you watch John Oliver at all? Or are you familiar with him?
I'm familiar with him, yeah, sure.
He got in a fight with somebody from my hometown recently about the town, and so they're going to name the dump after him. Did you hear anything about this? Actually, the sewage treatment plant is actually what it is.
Please educate me. This sounds fantastic.
Well, anyway, so this is going on. This is the mayor of Danbury on the right there, Mayor Mark, and that is the Great Seal of Danbury, where I used to live in Connecticut. This is about an hour or so outside of Manhattan.
All right.
And he married my very good friend on the right there, Danbury Chive. His name is Steve Kaz. He works at Ridgefield BMW. He does a feed from there all the time on this show, showing us all sorts of awesome things that BMW offers and all sorts of crazy things that has happened to his customers as they come through the shop.
Like his cuffs.
He's a very stylish fella. So the other day, there's Mayor Mark with John Oliver naming the sewage plant. After John Oliver having started a feud on his, it's not the Daily Show anymore. What is it? The John Oliver Tonight or Last Week Tonight or whatever it is. So anyway, okay, so here's the check-in with these guys. They're on their honeymoon. This is Brooke and the Kaz
Coming
Band.
to you from not the East Coast at all. We're in Jamaica. As you
Whatever.
can see around
Couldn't hear a
us,
word they were saying
a lot
because of the
of
wind.
palm
But
trees. And
they
look,
have sent us
bucket hat
another
twins
one.
right here.
Here we go. They have sent us another one, and this is current as of this week. Roll it out.
Good morning, Mr. Ryan. Hello, late night playset. It is the Kazman and Brooke coming from the honeymoon's final day. We decided to change rooms for one last little upgrade action. Babe, say hi to the boys and girls at home. There she is. As you can see, our outdoor tub. We got a little here. Let's take a look. Oh, Jesus. Where are we? Jamaica. This is it. So you know what? For one day, we decided to just, get something real nice. It looks good. We got a little hammock over there. Look, there's Brooke again. That's the East Coast feed coming to you live from Jamaica. Yeah, man.
Looks like he's having a great time.
Oh my God, that was awesome. Oh man, I saw pictures of that room. That was one of those crazy things. Like the inside is all glass floors, so you see down to the ocean below and everything below the bed. It was really weird.
And was that a trampoline in the ocean too? There,
It looks like one. It looked like a trampoline, a floating trampoline.
Yeah, man. That's what I'm talking about. Like this little inset hammock and a trampoline. You jump out of bed and jump into the water, right?
And the giant tub right there on the deck. Yeah, it's crazy. I don't think I would want to live that way, but I wouldn't mind checking it out.
Absolutely.
All right, I got all that stuff out. There's a TBT, but we'll do that at the end.
All right.
All right, cars and where should we go next? Cars, photography. Let's tell people how you got here today. It was a very weird, fortuitous thing how it kind of all came together.
Yeah. So.
Well, I'll just.
I recognize.
No. Forgive me. I'll let you go first. I'm sorry.
All right,
I'm
sure.
Rude. I'm rude.
Oh no, we're just combative in our enthusiasm.
No, you do
Right.
it. No,
All
me.
right.
I'll go. No. You take it.
Start like. No, so I actually reached out to Jay here. So I was like, "Hey, man, can I be on your show?" He was like, "All right." My guy canceled on me. We're gonna have like some comedian guy, but we'd rather have a car guy. So here I am. Pretty much.
We did. We had a cancellation we had a car person, and then they rescheduled to another time. And then our comedian booker was like, "Well, I can find somebody," and did. And you reached out, a car guy and a photographer and an artsy, interesting. Like you're a human interest, a special interest. You're really great.
Thank you so much.
So it kind of came together very, very quickly, literally last night.
Absolutely. I've been following you for a while on @PorscheLife111. You got to shout that out,
Of course. Thank you so much. I appreciate
Absolutely.
that. I'll throw them both up here.
So I've
there
been
you go.
following you for a while. I've seen your shots around Malibu Kitchen up that way. We never really bumped into each other yet, though. So I was like, you know what? This guy seems interesting. I really liked what you were doing with the podcast. I liked the setup. I thought that was just totally cool.
Thanks,
I saw Sid get on there. I was like, hey, well, I should be next,
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, put it out there, see what happens, So
But thinking like, oh, I'd love to jump in there whenever.
yeah.
Not.
Yeah, like today.
How's tonight? How's tomorrow?
Yeah, man. Spontaneity,
I just find that the things in my life that have come together that way, there's generally something very positive revolving around them.
Absolutely. It's like right now I'm just in this weird period of like wishy-washy, as far as like
I was going to say, you're awfully wishy-washy.
Like job, employment, whatever like that you want to call it. But it's like, you know what? I got some time right now, so I'm happy. It took a little bit of time off from the corporate world to kind of reset and refocus and do some fun stuff like we just saw on the screen. So it's like, you know what? Still have some free time left before things start ramping up again. It's like, you know what? You should take a risk, take the chance, and just try and make the best of it,
Well, let's poke around for a second.
Sure.
What was the corporate world?
Oh, I used to work in a data center.
Oh my gosh, like computers?
Yeah.
Like ones and zeros?
Not really so much that. I was like, imagine if there is a god of the internet. I was like an angel.
Wow, one of his disciples.
I was like the angel of the internet, making the magic happen. I would do all the large connections for like Facebook and Google and all the carriers and stuff like that. So I was creating and managing the physical and sometimes virtual connections for them.
That's amazing to me. You're saying physical and virtual. So are there? I mean, there are places, I'm assuming, where the internet is plugged in from through the ocean and the whole bit.
Yes.
I'm picturing Jaws 2, by the way. The big cable.
Yep.
It really is that, right? There really is a cable of internet.
Yeah. So I'll just jump in right there. It's like, there's an undersea cable landing in El Segundo that connects California to Asia directly.
There's even a sign, right?
Yes.
Telling you no anchors, because I've boated down there.
Okay. I haven't been out on the water.
It says cable
over there.
crossing. Literally, it comes out of the cliff and just goes out to nowhere.
Yep. So it lands right there. The fiber optic cable is buried under the seafloor, and it literally shoots. Yeah, it's buried under the seafloor so that like anchors and nets and whatever else debris doesn't just break it. Because if you broke that is literally like the backbone of the internet. So if you broke that, a lot of stuff's gonna go down.
The whole thing just is so much bigger than I'm able to comprehend.
Yes, and
when I was a kid, it was space. Remember space? Space was so big. Nowadays, the internet is way bigger to me than even space.
Space is nothing. You just eject the guy up there. All right, he's up there. All right, he's going to come back. All right, whatever. No biggie. Back in '69, it was like the biggest news in the world. And now it's like,
going to the moon again. We already did that.
Again. Like, what else is up there? I don't know. But yeah, so I was just making the connections and stuff there and just doing work,
It's amazing to me. I'm sure you probably can't say what you were doing specifically.
Oh, I can. Yeah, I can actually. So I was doing a lot of fiber work on the fiber optics. So that would be like terminating the fiber and making the connections in the right spot for the customer, and also like measuring the laser light coming out of it. So.
But this is modern day. Yeah. Hello, Mayball. This is literally the other side of that. I mean, it used to just be that one monotone copper line that didn't pick up all the frequencies like you mentioned.
People still order copper for connections, though, for certain reasons. So fiber was rolled out in the 80s in like kind of a test thing. Don't quote me on that time frame, but it was rolled out back then and is only finally kind of in the modern internet lexicon as like mainstream. So there was kind of like a down period for it, and now it's kind of back on the rise as the technology has refined itself and progressed.
For data transfer.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. Yes, for data transfer.
We were playing with it with lights. I mean, we've used it for lighting effects for years in the entertainment industry.
Nice. Yeah.
But I don't even understand how something that sends, you know what I mean? Like it's sending light and data and, so, digital cables with the little white, little red, I don't understand how that works.
All right. Well, I'll just educate you on that then.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah. So you have like a transceiver, you have a box. You have a box that shoots a laser light through a module inside the wire. So you plug the wire into the module, into the box. The electrical signal turns into a laser signal. The laser signal gets blasted through a thin, tiny, like microscopic piece of glass. It goes to the other box on the other end, and it translates the signal not too dissimilar from like Morse code, really. It's the frequency, it's the tightness of the wavelength, it's a lot of different things. So
it's the amount of information it's able to transmit in
very, very
no
fast.
Time at all.
Yes.
Is where I lose all concept of reality. I'm like,
speed
it's
of
not
light.
possible. Yeah, it's not possible. It's
Yep.
just not possible. But it's very possible.
It is.
And
So,
we've been using
yeah.
it for years.
They're rated up to like I think 300 gigabytes per second now is becoming more mainstream. Like in a second, but when you're
That's hard to comprehend.
So when you're doing like dealing stuff like with a lot of the banking guys use that specifically. So when you're handling a lot of bank transfers and the stuff like that, you don't want it to drop the
No
connection
lag.
at all. You want the fastest thing. Think about
Security too, right?
Yes. Security, that's an interesting topic. Some people have actually found ways to get close to the fiber optic cable itself and bleed off the signal and then decode it.
No
Yeah,
way.
you got to be an evil individual to do that, though.
I just can't even imagine
Yeah.
what it takes.
That's some
I mean, I remember
Mr. Robot stuff, right?
Yeah,
There you
exactly.
go.
Again, 70s and 80s, like the fear was like, they got these boxes now, they can drive through the neighborhood and they're open on all the garages because they can
Yep.
find the codes. I'm
Yep.
like, oh no, we're gonna change the code on the garage door. It doesn't do anything if they have the thing.
Yep.
That was the 80s. We were talking about that
Yeah.
before you were born, young lad.
Oh, we win. Yeah. So that if you look at the Mr. Robot show, a lot of it is very, very factually accurate too. So if you look at some of the data center stuff, that's pretty much what I was doing. I was in
Really?
like that environment. So if you saw the scene where they have to break in to the one, and I forget which episode, it was like in the last season. They
Oh.
like get the badge and like scan it. It's not working.
Yes.
They distract the security
Yes.
guard. It's
They
like
got to put it in the system.
that is all completely feasible.
Yeah.
Like if you were malicious enough, that would be very easy to have done.
Right.
But
It makes
thankfully-
perfect sense.
Thankfully, I'm not a supervillain. You know.
I love that show. What do you think of that show? We haven't finished it.
Coming-
We're 3 episodes from completing it.
Oh man, stay on it. Number one, and number two is I was just enthralled from day one with
Yeah.
it. I'd say I was enthralled with it, and then I got busy and I dropped off. Like you stop watching TV for a while, that kind
Exactly.
of thing. So I dropped off. I saw season 2 came out. Rewatched season 1. Started watching season 2, and it was just like, yep, I'm gonna keep watching.
Yep.
My eyes are now glued onto that.
That to me was the weakest season, but still we progressed through it, and
Yes.
3 and 4 just got stronger and stronger.
Very convoluted. A lot of stuff was going on. They like to bounce around. There's so many different characters and so many different things happening all at the same time.
Yeah.
So you have to really train your mind. All right, well, you can't just go into it. You got to figure it out. One of those.
Yeah, I like shows like that. I mean, I also like shows that you just have on in the background that are just palatable, just easy.
Yep.
But ones that do make you think that you can't miss something, or you are fucked. You don't understand what's going on in the next episode.
Yep.
I like that.
Yep. I think
Reward me for doing the work. I like doing the work. I like getting the reward for doing the work.
absolutely. Yep. Your viewership will be rewarded with a positive.
What's your favorite show?
Favorite? Oh man.
Can be now or ever.
Ever? Oh man, I'd have to think about that. It's probably off the top of my head, Speed Racer.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy smokes!
If I had to pick a favorite out of everything, it would be the Japanese Speed Racer.
Holy shit! See, I have no reference here whatsoever, other than I know it exists.
Yeah. So Speed Racer, I first watched that when I was like a baby on the floor in our little house in Torrance.
So that's why? Is that
like-
why it's the first memory?
Yeah. It was like actually they're tied with Gigantor. If you know about that one,
Nope.
Gigantor and Speed Racer were both made by the same production company, and in the early 90s, MTV bought the rights for them, so it brought it over into the modern mainstream on Cartoon Network.
No kidding.
Yep. So on MTV and Cartoon Network around.
Oh,
the
I see. So
90s.
they were
Yep.
old. They were older and existed back in the
Yes.
time, and they were reruns when you saw them.
Yes.
Oh
Yes.
gosh, so much of my favorites were the same way. Nick at Night stuff or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Same.
So the Japanese Speed Racer is a lot different than the regular one in the way that there's cursing, spitting, people's arms fly off.
Really?
And there's like in the first episode,
It's violent.
he's like, I'm gonna kill you, you bastard. And I'm like, what is
Whoa.
this? Like, is this the same show I
Go
watched?
Speed
when I-
Racer, go!
Yeah. It was just totally wild, and I'm like, this is awesome.
Wow.
So it was very different. It's not like happy. It's rather intense.
You are so wildly interesting. Are you intending to be interesting? Like, did you pick that out? Because you don't seem to be. This isn't an act. Like, you didn't pick that out. Like, I'll get him with this one. Like, that's your real. That's where you pull from.
You got the gears turning, man. I'm just pulling it out. I'm just
So
here.
awesome.
It's Thursday. We're both smiling, man. It's a good day.
It is. What's your schedule like?
Schedule like, wake up whenever, do whatever, and then go to sleep whenever. That sounds so
I like someone who
laissez-faire.
stays present, but I mean, for the reason I'm asking, I mean, we do Breakfast Club on Friday morning. So
Sure.
in the weirdest way, like once the show's up, once things are done on Thursday night, it's almost like our Friday night. Like,
Yeah.
we still have to get up early and do stuff on Friday morning, but it's wonderful stuff.
Yeah.
It's not work.
It's work in the sense of I have to do it, but it's not work in the sense of I know I'm going to be having fun.
It's the kind of work that you can whistle while you do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So Breakfast Club, educate me a little bit more. I've seen it. I haven't delved in entirely yet.
Non-event.
Non-event?
Honestly, it's a non-event.
All
It
right.
started when Nicole was, my wife Nicole has MS, so walking's an issue. She used to work in Hollywood in the entertainment field in representation, and she couldn't do that anymore. And
Sorry
then
to
we
hear
were
that.
around. We were just around. We were available. We
Yeah.
just moved here. We were trying to figure our new lives out. So we started going up to breakfast up at Newcomb's every Friday morning, and we did it a couple times and started posting, and people would come, and like our buddy Jose came for a long time, and then our buddy David showed up, and like we made friends through this thing, and it sort of grew and grew and grew, and then it became like a thing where like, all right, well, every Friday you go to Newcomb's, and it's just sort of a thing.
It's like I kind of see that, but I would either miss it or I wasn't available at the time. So yeah,
Yeah, it'll never be an event. I hope it never turns into anything super duper huge because it will ruin it for me. I like that we still just drive up there on Friday mornings, and whoever's there is there, and whoever isn't, and they'll be back next week. And it's kind of
Yeah.
just a really neat open house.
I think that's the best kind of event that you could kind of really ask for, especially in today's kind of thing. Like you look at what's happening at Malibu right now. It's like they're gonna get the tow truck. Really? It's like you don't want to deal with that. Nah, man.
Well, I don't know what happened that day with the tow truck because I posted that, but it could have been. I mean, there's a lot of collector cars. Maybe somebody's car didn't start.
Yeah,
It was timely with the shut it down, shut
Yep.
it down, bloop, shut it down.
Oh man, no. Let's tone it down. Let's keep it chill. So it's cool.
Well, with that, it's Thursday.
Is it going on tomorrow?
What?
Tomorrow morning breakfast club?
Yeah, every Friday. We
What
haven't
time?
missed one.
What's the best time?
9 to 11.
9 to 11?
Yeah,
I think I can make that work.
you should.
I think I can make
It's
that work.
fun. It's not a club. There's no, you know what I mean? Like all welcome. You don't have to have a Porsche. It can be any car. You just be cool.
yeah,
Just
right.
good vibes.
I feel kind of weird in a way because I drive a 2016 FRS Scion, which is
I love that car.
Which is like I feel not really congruent with who I am in the external context, but it is very much aligned with who I am in an internal context.
Is it stick?
Absolutely.
Oh, that's
Absolutely.
a great car.
I mean,
love that car. That's a great car to drive
yeah.
on the Crest too, because it's not that it's so fast; it's how it drives.
Yes. Had a lot of fun. Kept right up with 718s up there.
Oh, I bet. Wow, so you can drive too. Oh, this will be fun.
A little bit. How much time we got?
Oh, today?
Yeah.
Well, I have to
Still
do a TBT, and we've got to wrap it up. But if you have
right.
something you want to say, I don't want you to not feel heard.
Well, the red Toyota Celica was replaced by the FRS.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So I still have that car, but I
Not a
needed
daily.
a modern car. So what else could you get for under 24 grand that has a 410 Torsen differential, 6-speed transmission, and more than 100 horsepower per liter?
It's also just really fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the choices that they made. Like at Top Gear, I think maybe somebody doesn't matter, but they talked about how I'd put more rubber on the rear. And it's like you're going to ruin it. If you, I mean, you can do that,
wiggly, yeah.
but put it on the front too, because like it's got such great dynamics right now with the skinny rubber in the back. They were talking to Prius tires, like it's got Prius tires on it.
Same ones,
Great,
right?
great.
Yeah.
As long as it rotates.
Makes a challenge, yeah.
Well, then you get a Miata feel out of it, but in a coupe. It's kind of neat.
That was
I'm not
one
telling
of,
you.
That was one of the
car.
things too. It was like I couldn't go for a smaller car. I had to have something at least that size. I actually put everything I owned in that car and drove across the country in that car. I didn't ship it. Like a couple suitcases and here we go, man. Route 66.
I mean, it's tough to beat.
Yeah, couldn't do that in a Miata or S2000.
Or a 308.
No. That would be fun though.
Let's do a quick TBT.
All right.
This is throwing back to, I think, I don't know when. Doesn't matter. But it's a trip to Rod Emory's shop just around the corner. And I came across this video the other day and just brought back a lot of fond memories. It's very Mrs. Ryan heavy, so I wanted to play it. Sure. Roll it, Hal.
This horizon, it's shining. Seems the daylight knows this is our time now. Where we're going, these dreams we're holding. Now we know it.
And then after that,
The world is ours to
a
take.
couple of rallies, like a miniature rally and
Wonder that way. Here we are,
and then
forever
of course, just sold the 3 cars to the U.S. So that one came to the West Coast, actually right here in Florida. This one went to
all the world is ours to take. You and me.
she was 21 years old. We had our first child, and
This adventure we were living. Every day is a change to discover. You give me reason through every season. Together we can do anything we believe in. All the world is ours to take. You and me will find a way. Oh, the wonder that awaits. Here we are, never stars. Through it all, the world we face. You and me will find a way. Oh, the wonder that awaits. Here we are, forever stars today. Through it all, the world we face. You and me will find a way. Oh, the wonder that awaits. Here we are, forever stars today.
It's like the ultimate like beach cruiser. So you just sit here and you're like, hi, happy birthday.
All right, we're here. Where are we? This is. All right, you can't tell where we are. It's a nondescript location. So, not so regular cars. Where are we? We're at Rod Emory's place. That's right, Mrs. Ryan. We just got an awesome tour, and let's look around a little bit, huh? All right, Mrs. Ryan. You're standing next to a car that is pretty important. Did you learn about it?
I learned that it's the one that was at Le Mans.
The one that was at Le Mans, you're exactly right. The first one, I think.
The first one.
This is the SL.
Oh my goodness. I think you read the news.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
All right, we're going into the shop. Yep. I wore this shirt. Dwight Carpe gear. Seemed appropriate, what with the 11 inside and all. I know. We're here in Rod Emory's shop. It is so loud. We got a bit of a tour. Let's walk around so we know where everything is.
Forever starts today.
Yay!
Very cool.
It's movie night.
Yeah, nice little video there, man.
That was, it was such a fun day.
Looks like
Long time ago. And I remembered it was Halloween coming up, so I decided to do a little changeover.
Right in the neck. Right?
That's the Halloween
Oh,
show.
man.
We're wrapping it up.
Now that sounds like real metal here. Is that real metal?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's not. They're not sharp this way, but
Gotcha.
yeah, it's very sharp that way. In
Very
fact,
scary.
in fact, last year on the show, I told a story of how I got this scar and why there's nerve damage in this hand, and it's Freddie Glove related with my wonderful friend Catherine DeLorean, who we've been exchanging many messages lately because she's just a wonderful person, and I love you, I love you, I love you. You didn't expect that.
That's all good.
Do you remember the DeLorean car?
Yes.
And John DeLorean, the GTO and everything?
Mm-hmm.
His daughter.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah. What didn't we cover? Is there anything that we need to get to that you would feel better if we got to that we haven't yet?
I think we're doing pretty well here. I think we hit a lot of different things. I was just happy to jabber on and yap at you.
Awesome. Well, then
Happy
you
to
feel
just
satisfied.
express it.
This was a good experience.
Absolutely.
You enjoyed yourself.
I was very grateful. Thank you so much for having me, Jay. I mean, it's really nice experience to get it, kind of put myself out there a little bit more. Just trying to do that, trying to work on getting out of my shell a little bit, that kind of thing, and just keep the fun going.
It's analog speed.
Yes, sir.
Analog underscore speed.
Underscore, that darn underscore. I've contacted the guy without the underscore so many times. He probably hates my guts.
There's a couple names I want to without the underscore. Yeah, I'm trying to find one too. All right, so analog underscore speed on Instagram. Any other place people should follow you?
Same name on YouTube if you want to check that out. I'm just starting my own little very sketchy kind of vlog, whatever you want to call it, which I dubbed In Front of the Lens, where I
that's
just
awesome.
talk about cameras and whatever I'm kind of working on. So I just made the episode, I think it was this week. I can't even remember. Time's blending together, but I want to put out another one maybe tomorrow-ish,
Oh, I will subscribe. That sounds very interesting.
Absolutely. So I'll even mention you on there too.
Please
Talk
do.
about that because
Thanks.
that's relevant to what's going on.
Is it just? I'm so confused with the terminology, but blog
Sure.
means it's just you, just kind of talking about your life, right? What's going on today? Here's what we did. Here was this project.
I'm not sure if there's any specific context or whatever you want to call it to.
But you're
to
not
fit in
interviewing
that.
people. It's
But,
not a podcast.
yeah,
You're not
no.
having a conversation.
I guess it would just be a vlog then. Yeah.
You're just talking to your friend at home.
Correct. Yep. Just kind of like that. So just putting myself out there a little bit more, seeing where things go.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for your time today. Thanks
Absolutely.
for coming over.
Absolutely. I had a blast, man.
Don't be a stranger. We'll see you at Breakfast Club tomorrow, it sounds like. But if
I
you
think so.
have another movie, you want to come back, if you just have anything else you want to talk about, come back.
Actually,
Hang out.
yes. Yeah, there is. You can look out for this one coming up. I used this little guy in another
Oh, right now.
another
Great. Tell us.
episode
Yeah.
coming out with the guys over at Native 4. My buddy Cameron is working on something. So the film is being developed right now over at Pro 8mm in Burbank. So look for that in the next couple of weeks.
Well, congratulations. That'll be
I'm
great.
not sure how much I can talk about, but it is very much so Porsche related.
So keep
Very
your eye on
much-
your YouTube
yep.
channel because things will be dropping soon.
Yes, sir. Magnus Walker's in there again too. So
Fantastic.
fun times, man.
Love it.
Yeah.
All right, man. We'll check out Taylor Hendricks. Analog underscore speed.
Yes, sir.
At those names at those places.
Yes, sir. Those names at those places.
And then
with
what
that
about in
guy-
LA though? I mean, you're out and about with your car.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
assuming, and you said we've seen each other in Malibu, even though we haven't talked until today.
Correct. Yeah. So I needed.
So you're out and about as well. If
Yeah.
somebody sees you, they can say hi, right?
Yeah. Approachable, right?
That's what I'm trying to get to. Are you approachable?
No, man, don't talk to me. I'm better than you, right? Like, who's gonna say that? No. Yeah, come say hi. If you see me, I'm the guy with the funky shirt and the leather jacket. Like I feel I'm becoming a staple of like the car show community. I guess it's like, hey, there's that guy again.
I didn't
He's
know.
right here. There's that guy again.
I had no idea. I'm excited that guy finally got here.
Now you know, man.
That's
Right?
good stuff. All right, tomorrow, me and this guy will be up at Breakfast Club, Good Vibes Breakfast Club, up at Newcomb's Ranch. It's not official because Newcomb's isn't open, but we'll have donuts and coffee. Sometimes other people bring other things. And if you want to bring something, by all means do.
All right.
You don't have to. I was telling them. First time, you don't have to bring anything. Gee
no
whiz.
worries. No worries.
That's it. And Malibu on Sunday. And check us out next Tuesday. Tuesdays with Tori. You got to find out what Tori thinks about Mr. Robot and if he's still upset about Rudy Giuliani being framed by Borat. It's good stuff because we're going to be having a live election coverage. We're not political on this show, but we
Oh, man.
are. We
All
do
right.
happen to have our show live during the election.
Gonna get wasted during it.
That's what he
Like
said.
Joe Rogan said. You see
That's-
that one?
Oh, did Joe say the same thing?
Well,
Is he going live
I
also?
was watching the Joe and Alex Jones one last night just for shits and giggles, and Alex Jones was like, "You gonna get wasted with me? You gonna get wasted with me?"
This is hysterical because that's
Yeah.
literally what Tori sent me today. He sent me a clip of that episode, Alex Jones and Tim Dillon. He goes, "Bro, worth a listen," and not just because Rogan agrees with my assessment of the Giuliani stunt.
There you go, right?
So find out what's going on with that saga and everything else on Tuesdays with Tori. Brother,
man.
I love you. Thank
Hey,
you
thank
for
you
being
so
here.
much. This was just an epic experience, man.
Very happy to have made your acquaintance and look forward to being able
Absolutely.
to say hello when we're out there.
Absolutely.
Love everybody else. Have a great weekend. Happy Halloween. Oh, that's what it is. Halloween on Saturday. Good
Right,
grief.
right, yeah.
So much stuff going on. Everybody, please stay safe. Please love one another. And we will catch up with you over the weekend or out there, wherever.
Peace
Love you.
and love,
Bye-bye.
man. Peace and love.
Good job.
All right. Hey, thank you so much.
Glad you enjoyed it.
Fun time. Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, we put it together real
Yeah,
quick.
yeah.
It's great.
Work out all right. Having
As long
fun.
as you had a good time.
Yeah, man. Having a great time.
Your video is great.
Thank you, man.
They loved it.
Applause, right? So I'm just curious. Tell me more about like your backstory. How'd you get into this whole thing? Like what sparked the podcast? Maybe we'll talk about this next time. Just some ideas, right? What sparked building out this room?
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait for this to stop because it'll be the perfect Saved by the Bell.